Indonesia tells Myanmar to let qualified people run government. Saudi Arabia opens to settling trade in other currencies. Foreign universities allowed to set up campuses across India. Spain to trial a cut in work hours to help boost productivity. Windows produce wireless internet connections. CoLiving takes off in Europe. Millennials are living with parents at higher rates. Researchers looked into the risk of dark lightning.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It's Thursday, January 19th, and here are your top stories. An Indonesian senior minister urged Myanmar's military to consider stepping back and letting qualified leaders govern the country that is in an economic freefall due to sanctions and worsening civil strife. Indonesian Coordinating Minister for Maritime Affairs and Investment and a former general Luhut Panjaitan said on a panel at the World Economic Forum, Myanmar's junta should follow the example of Indonesia, where the military has stepped back from controlling all aspects of government decades ago.
Investment and
Luhut Panjaitan said in a pointed remark about Myanmar coup leader turned Prime Minister Min Aung Hlaing, there are so many militaries in charge of the government, but if you are not qualified, why should you be president? Let someone else who is qualified manage this country, like what happened in Indonesia. Last year, Indonesian President Joko Widodo had proposed to leaders of the ASEAN that representatives of the Myanmar military be buried from the bloc's event and meeting beyond big-ticket summits.
Saudi Arabia's finance minister Mohammed Al-Jadon told Bloomberg TV on Tuesday in an interview in Davos that Saudi Arabia is open to discussions about trade in currencies other than the US dollar. He said there are no issues with discussing how we settle our trade arrangements, whether it is in the US dollar, whether it is the euro, whether it is the Saudi riyal. I don't think we are waving away or ruling out any discussion that will help improve the trade around the world.
Could a deal between Saudi Arabia and China put a dent on the US dollar's global dominance?
Bloomberg said the kingdom is a pillar of a petrodollar system established in the 1970s that relies on pricing crude export in the US currency. Now, the world's largest oil exporter, which has maintained a currency peg to the dollar for decades, is seeking to strengthen its relations with crucial trade partners including China. During President Xi Jinping's visit to Riyadh last year, Xi said that China would make efforts to buy more oil from the Middle East and also wanted to settle that trade in the yuan.
India's University Grants Commission, UGC, unveiled the country's national education policy last week, welcoming foreign universities ranked in the top 500 globally, as well as other reputed foreign higher education institutions, to set up campuses in India. UGC noted that foreign universities with Indian campuses can only offer full-time programs offline. UGC said some universities from Europe have already expressed an interest in establishing Indian campuses.
सही एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट को चूज कर सके और
According to the UGC, a panel shall access each application on merits, including the credibility of the educational institution, the programs to be offered, and their potential to strengthen educational opportunities in India. Foreign universities will be able to control the admissions procedure, the cost of attendance, and the repatriation of their cash. However, they will need to ensure the quality of education taught at their Indian campuses is on par with the standard of teaching at their main foreign locations.
Spain has launched a pilot project to help small and medium-sized industrial companies cut the working week by at least half a day without denting salaries in an attempt to boost productivity. Spain's industry ministry said the companies requesting the aid must design ways to increase productivity that compensate for wage cost overruns. These improvements should be implemented within 1 year, while the company must maintain the program for at least 2 years.
In the first year of the project, the government will partly finance wage costs of companies that reduce their working hours and will also help fund training and the cost of measure to improve productivity. Only workers with full-time permanent contracts can be part of the program. At least 30% of the workforce must reduce their working hours if a company has up to 20 workers, while if a company has between 21 and 249 employees, at least 25% of its workers must be part of the plan.
到 struck， 它是 strike 这动词的过去式 ，strike a deal 就是
学习，享受一个人的美好时光。FUNDAY 英语。
Researchers in Saudi Arabia have developed a technology capable of transmitting a wireless internet signal powered by the sun through specialized glass. The Saudi innovation uses the polarization of sunlight to transfer data by using smart glass elements known as dual-cell liquid crystal shutters. The team of scientists say that if they manage to achieve a high data rate, they will be able to do anything. Their technology harnessing windows for internet data transfer is still at a broadband speed of around 15 to 16 kbps.
Professor Osama Amin said their technology can already be used for IoT applications because sensors need a low data rate. Basically, they use a small device with multiple layers that can change the light's polarity by modeling the glass's transparency. When you change the opacity very fast, a stream of data occurs because polarization allows for the sunlight to be organized into a kind of 1 and 0 language, which is predetermined by the original data coming through a LAN cable connected to the edge of the smart glass.
Co-living is the concept of group housing where people can rent a room and share communal areas with others. On the face of it, the perks are clear. There's no need to worry about paying for different bills as they are included in a single price, and you have instant access to a community of people who may be in a similar boat to you. The CEO of Gravity Co-Living, Ricardo Tesoro, said the idea of co-living has taken off in recent years, with more companies getting involved in a space that they see as ripe for growth.
Co-living is offering people not only a place to live, but also a place to thrive, a place to come and meet new people, a place to meet potential mentors.
He said, there is a lot of demand and very little supply. Tesoro currently has 4 co-living accommodation buildings in the UK. Gravity recently raised £5 million, €5.7 million in funding as part of a move to expand to other European business hubs, with plans already in motion to set up in Barcelona, Paris, and Milan. He believes the co-living offering comes in for those who don't know exactly how long they'll need to stay somewhere. Tesoro listed key benefits of Gravity co-living is flexibility.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, about 18% of men and 12% of women ages 25 to 34 were living with their parents in 2022. And since 2020, the onset of the pandemic, young millennials are living with their parents at rates not seen since 1972, and they seem to be in no rush to move out. Media outlet Insider found some of them are saving for a down payment for their own place, while others don't consider home ownership a marker of adulthood.
Some 32% of Americans 18 to 34 years old now live with their parents.
The media found that there's also a shift happening. Americans well into their 30s aren't afraid of being labeled immature or unsuccessful for living at home. A project manager for a home improvement store in Atlanta and one of 3 millennial women in the U.S. Insider spoke with who are still living at home said, "I don't see why I need to live on my own." However, she contributes $200 a month to her household to help cover the electricity bill, and she estimates she's saving about $30,000 a year.
Scientists now believe that passengers flying through a thunderstorm might be blasted by powerful gamma ray flashes, also known by their more ominous name of dark lightning. The mysterious phenomenon occurs at 10 to 15 kilometers high in the sky, at the same altitude at which most commercial aircraft fly. Scientists have suspected for a while now that dark lightning might be hitting passengers flying through thunderstorms, but the impact of the gamma ray flashes on the individuals affected is not yet clear.
A study by researcher Melody Paulu, which combined dark lightning observations with airline routes, found that the mysterious phenomenon is likely to strike near a plane around once every 1 to 4 years. That means that chances of getting hit by dark lightning while flying through a thunderstorm are actually very small. Previous studies have estimated that an altitude of 12,000 meters, being hit by dark lightning would contain a dose of radiation equivalent to 10 chest X-rays.
And I'm Johnny Wu, your host. 新年即将到来，我们在此预祝大家新年快乐。我们在这边教大家一些新年的吉祥话。
Johnny， 大家要下班了。
哦，
对，我们赶快去过年。
OK， 第一句话就是 Wish you a prosperous New Year.
OK，够了。Happy Chinese New Year, everyone.